Nigeria beats SA 2-1 in the WAFN semi-finals. We'll be having details on that with Bernardo Coach Okumu. This as the government has today launched the revamped Fichua kwa DCI initiative at the DCI headquarters. We will explore its main objectives and how it aims to enhance your safety. Meanwhile, the investigation into the tragic death of Masai has resumed, bringing renewed hope for answers. This and more on Prime Edition, but first, the highlights. Coming home. Stephen Munyako freed after 13 years on death row in Saudi Arabia, thanks to Let's Bring Back Steve-O online campaign.
I'm running this ministry as guided by my letter of appointment, and I know it's my duty to oversee policy issues, administrative issues in this ministry.
I am in charge. Information CS refutes claims that President Ruto directed the firing of ICT Authority CEO. The bells of unity calls for a united opposition ahead of the 2027 general election. And a working SHA. 25 million Kenyans so far enlisted in the Social Health Authority since its rollout in October 2024. Good evening and a very warm welcome to Prime Edition. I am Muchuma Odim. Our sign language expert tonight is Lensa Odingo. Talk to us on all our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1 on X, Facebook and YouTube. Stephen Bertrand Munyako, the Kenyan man once condemned to die in Saudi Arabia, is finally free after 14 years behind bars. Foreign Affairs Principal Secretary Cohesion confirmed that Munyako, now known as Stephen Abdukarim Munyako, walked out of Shimeisi prison in Mecca at 10 a.m. local time, his life spared after satisfaction of a court decree. His first act as a free man, a pilgrimage. Ben Chumba traces the incredible journey of a man who faced death and is now coming home.
For 14 years, Stephen Bertrand Munyako lived under the shadow of death, confined in a Saudi prison, awaiting execution. In 2011, a workplace altercation in Mecca turned fatal. A Yemeni colleague lost his life. Stephen was first sentenced to 5 years for manslaughter. But when the victim's family appealed, a Sharia court delivered a devastating verdict: execution. Then they demanded 400 million shillings in blood money for Munyako's freedom and later agreed to 150 million shillings, still an impossible sum to raise for a man alone in a foreign cell. Fast track to 2024 and Stephen's execution date was drawing near. Back home in Kenya, Stephen's family put up a spirited fundraising campaign that extended online, court diplomacy, and eventually, Let's Bring Back Steve-O became more than a plea. It became a national prayer. On Tuesday morning, that prayer was answered. According to a statement by Bring Back Steve-O campaign committee, 20 million shillings were raised and the Muslim World League paid the balance to complete the 150 million diya to the family of the late Abdul Halim Mujadid Makran Saleh, whose death led to Stephen's conviction. The gates of Durban prison in Jeddah were opened after the satisfaction of judicial decree, as confirmed by Foreign Affairs Principal Secretary Cohesion. Stephen Munyako walked out, no longer a prisoner. He went straight to Mecca to perform Umrah, not as a convict, but as a free man named Stephen Abdukarim Munyako, seeking for forgiveness, giving thanks. His freedom wasn't brought by wealth, but earned through unity. And now Stephen, who left Kenya for Saudi Arabia in 1996 in search of employment and spent half of those years on death row, is coming home to his family, who never stopped praying to a country that never gave up. Ben Chumba, Prime Edition.
Let's now shift to politics. The Democratic Action Party of Kenya is calling on the opposition to unite and work together toward its terms as removing the broad-based government through the ballot. The party leader, Eugene Wamalwa, dismissed speculations on the coalition's presidential candidates, warning against early campaigns. Here is that report.
Democratic Action Party of Kenya party leader Eugene Wamalwa has urged the opposition parties to stick together in their resolve to unseat President William Ruto in the 2027 general elections.
Tumesikia watu wameanza kutumia ile inaitwa speculation, kusema eti muungano wetu tayari tumechagua yule atakayebeba bendera ya urais. Nothing can be farther from the truth. Na nataka niambie Wakenya kwamba muungano wetu hatujakaa ama kukubaliana mbeba bendera wa muungano wetu.
The party has not only cleared Honorable Eugene Wamalwa as our party leader to be the flag bearer of the party in the August 10, 2027 presidential election, but has also authorized him to engage other like-minded parties and to build partnerships that will lead to a strong coalition that will unite and liberate the country.
Wamalwa also called out the government over what he described as state-sanctioned brutality targeting Kenyan youth, particularly digital activists and Gen Z protesters. On election matters, the APK Kenya welcomed the appointment of the new Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission commissioners, urging them to deliver credible by-elections in Baringo County, 6 constituencies, namely Malava, Ugunja, Banisa, Kasipul, Magarini, and Mbere North, together with 16 wards across the country.
We'll be urging IEBC to know that this will be a litmus test for them. They must show professionalism, they must show patriotism, and they must show independence. Because many Kenyans had questions about the process. The only time for them to prove their independence would be through these by-elections.
Wamalwa made the remarks at the party headquarters in Chui House, Nairobi, after receiving aspirants for 2 vacant parliamentary and 2 ward seats. They are Chris Budo, Ugunja constituency, Seth Panyako, Joab Manyasi, Enoch Makanga, Lewis Shitanda, and Caleb Burundi for Malava constituency in Kakamega County. Faisal Gedi will be the party flag bearer in Fafi Ward, Garissa County, and Abraham Ayaya in Quisero Ward, Kakamega County. The APK Kenya has committed to upholding integrity in the party primaries in Malava constituency. Johnson Karugu reporting for Prime Edition.
From the bells of unity to Health Watch, 24.8 million Kenyans have been enrolled under the Social Health Authority, with 4.5 million patients treated for common illness and maternal care through the Primary Health Care Fund since its rollout on 1st October 2024. Under the Social Health Authority Fund, 2.2 million Kenyans have benefited from specialized care. Over 8,000 patients are on dialysis sessions, 18,000 on cancer treatment, with 550,000 deliveries covered by maternal health. Addressing the media in Nairobi, the Health Cabinet Secretary, Eden Duale, disclosed that 6.8 billion shillings has been paid under the primary healthcare claims, with 1.5 billion shillings to be paid out next week. He has urged members to ensure timely remittance of the contributions to access quality healthcare services.
4.5 million Kenyans have already received treatment for common illness and maternal care. Under the Social Health Insurance Fund, 2.2 million Kenyans have benefited from specialized care, with over 8,000 patients on dialysis sessions and 18,000 on cancer treatment. Maternal health alone has covered more than 550,000 deliveries since October. To protect public funds, SHA continues to strengthen its claim processing and verification within the system. So far, 6.8 billion have been paid under the primary health care claims, with another 1.5 billion to be paid out next week. The ongoing claims adjudication and verification exercise is critical and crucial to ensure that valid claims are honored, compliance with contractual obligations, and access rules. SHA recruitment process under the SHA Act of 2023. We are aware there have been challenges in transition, and a number of court cases have stalled the transition process. We thank all the staff for the resilience they've exhibited during this transition period.
Glad you're watching Prime Edition. Thank you for your feedback on our social media platforms. Quick acknowledgements. Brian Wafula watching KBC Channel 1 from Webuye West, and Koech watching KBC Channel 1 from Lokichar. Continue talking to us on all our platforms. This as we take our first commercial break. We'll be back with more. Stay with us.
Wakenya wenzangu, this August, something big is happening. Chan 2024 is here, and Harambee Stars are ready to shine. Let us come together and support our boys as they fight for glory. From the first whistle to the last goal, let us cheer loud and proud. Tune in to KBC Channel 1 and let's cheer our boys. Because when Harambee Stars win, Kenya wins. Twende kazi, Team Kenya, all the way.
In a country as diverse as ours, every voice matters. From the highlands of Kericho to the coast of Lamu, from the hustle of Nairobi to the heart of Turkana, Kenya is talking. But are we listening? What if we paused and truly heard one another? Transgenerational Conversations isn't just a talk show. It's a national mirror, a bridge between the old and the young, between heritage and hope, between 47 counties and one shared destiny. It's time to talk. It's time to listen. And it's time to transform. Transgenerational Conversation, this Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Live from Catholic Social Hall, Marsabit Town, Marsabit County. Brought to you by KBC Channel 1, NCIC, UNDP, and Korea International Cooperation Agency.
Live from Broadcasting House, Nairobi, Kenya. This is KBC English Service.
Welcome to Beat Time Show, the very best of the 80s and 90s with me, John Korani, JK.
Timeless music hits across the decades.
This is the place to be after you've had a tough day. Here we celebrate love and life.
Don't believe me, just watch. The sound of KBC English Service.
I'm your host, Caroline Wangishi, Karo Gatata Moshero.
My name is Geoffrey Mongai.
News, information and entertainment. KBC English Service, Kenya's official national radio.
Welcome back to Prime Edition. Interior Cabinet Secretary has launched the revamped Fichua kwa DCI call center at the Directorate of Criminal Investigations headquarters along Kiambu Road in Nairobi. Murkomen said the platform, which has a toll-free number 0800-722-203 and a WhatsApp number 0709 570 000 will enable members of the public from both within and abroad to share criminal intelligence anonymously. This, as Cabinet Secretary, also pointed out that people-centered policing will also help forge a close relation between the public and law enforcers for greater service delivery. The upgraded center, which boasts an advanced recovery server, among other features, is as a result of collaboration between Kenya and the United Kingdom.
Our responsibility here through police reforms is to create a community that Kenyans can trust the National Police Service and trust the DCI, so that they know that when I tell DCI that I have a problem, my message is going to be treated anonymously, but also I will be protected. I am safer. If I call DCI and DCI comes to my home, I am going to be that safe citizen.
We empower every citizen to contribute to their own safety, shifting from a reactive enforcement approach to one that emphasizes collaboration and mutual trust.
We'll bridge the gap between the officers of the National Police Service and the members of the public. Like you have rightly said, when it comes to policing, then public confidence is very, very fundamental. And this partnership, this platform will bridge that gap between the members of the public and the police.
The UK will continue to work with the National Police Service in its mission to provide effective, people-centric and accountable policing services. Thank you.
On to a story we highlighted for you at the beginning of this broadcast. Information, Communication and the Digital Economy Cabinet Secretary William Kabogo has dismissed claims attributed to former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, suggesting that President William Ruto had directed the removal of board members and the CEO of the ICT Authority. Kabogo said the president does not interfere in the operational decisions of individual ministries, and such claims should be treated as rumors. The CS emphasized that the mandate to make such changes rests solely with him as the Cabinet Secretary in charge of the ministry.
It is not the duty of the president to hire or fire CEOs. That is my job as the CS. Even those board members that were changed for one reason or the other, they were done by myself. So I wanted to be very, very clear, because also this afternoon in a barrio somewhere in Mukurweini, member of public, I think, a member of parliament, I think Mr. Kagusha, Honorable Kagusha, has aired the same sentiment that the president is actually asked ministries to fire Kikuyus. I want to confirm I do not have those instructions. I'm running this ministry as guided by my letter of appointment, and I know it's my duty to oversee policy issues, administrative issues in this ministry.
From the developments at the Ministry of ICT to the corridors of justice, the inquest into the death of Rex Kanyike Masai resumed Tuesday, with 3 police officers from Central Police Station giving different testimonies on firearm issuance during last year's anti-finance bill demonstrations. Letua Debra has the details to this.
I have just shown you your first number.
Yes.
And the first number that at the end of your name.
Yes.
When the Rex Masai's murder case came up on Tuesday, 2 Central Police Station officers gave conflicting accounts over who was issued a specific firearm.
So you cannot tell whether the person whose name was whitewashed was also given a firearm.
No, I can't tell.
You cannot tell.
Yes, sir.
But considering that someone else signed against your name, it is potentially possible
that another officer was given a firearm, but the name does not appear on the record because it was whitewashed. I'm asking, it's a possibility. You are not there, you can't tell. I can't tell, Your Honor.
Corporal Geoffrey Murangiri, who shares a surname with the officer linked to the shooting, that is Isaiah Murangiri, said he only received a tear gas launcher, contrary to the register which showed he was also issued rubber bullets. This as Corporal Martin Githinji admitted a clerical error where his name appeared twice, arguing he's never used a firearm during his service.
Did you use your firearm on that day?
Not at all, Your Honor.
Not at all. Did any of your officers use their firearms, to the best of your recollection?
Not at all, Your Honor.
None of them used their firearms.
The hearing continues on 29th July 2025. Elsewhere, a constitutional petition has been filed in the High Court challenging the appointment of Patrick Tito and Eliud Kipkoech Lagat as Deputy Inspectors General of Police. A petitioner, Eliud Karanja Matindi, argues the dual appointments violate the Constitution and threaten lawful governance in the police service. And Manyata MP Gitonga Mukunji has sued state agencies for unlawful arresting him on July 7th under anti-terror laws during Gen Z protest. He alleged illegal seizure of his phone and iPad, linking the arrest to political intimidation. Mukunji now wants the court to block such misuse of anti-terror laws. Letua Debra for Prime Edition.
The National Cohesion and Integration Commission has relieved Wambui Nyutu of her role as Vice Chairperson of the Commission with immediate effect. This follows her alleged involvement in partisan political activities, including meetings affiliated with a particular political party. The Commission has resolved to elect Commissioner Dorcas Kidogo to serve as the new Vice Chairperson of the Commission effective immediately. Nancy Okware compiled this report.
In a statement, the National Cohesion and Integration Commission stated that constant involvement of Wambui Nyutu in partisan political activities is incompatible with her constitutional and statutory obligations. The Commission noted that during special sittings held on the 3rd of January 2025, 23rd of January 2025, and 6th of February 2025, she was given multiple opportunities to respond to the concerns raised. While she initially denied involvement in such activities, she later apologized and gave a formal undertaking to refrain from further partisan political engagements.
Commissioner Wambui Nyutu.
In a statement, NCIC has distanced itself from any political activities and pronouncements associated with Nyutu. It further stated that the process of Nyutu's removal is anchored on the National Cohesion and Integration Act and relevant constitutional mechanisms. Dorcas Kidogo, who was elected as the new vice president, is a seasoned educationist who also served as a woman representative for Vihiga County in the National Assembly. Nancy Okware, Prime Edition.
On to education matters, the government is set to implement a rationalization program to ensure the equitable distribution of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM teachers across schools to bridge persistent gaps in STEM education. Speaking at the opening of the 2025 STEMtastic Adventures Africa Symposium at the Center for Mathematics, Science and Technology Education in Africa, Semester, Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Ogamba revealed that the Ministry of Education plans to hire 24,000 new teachers in September, with a significant number trained in STEM subjects. The government is also constructing 1,600 new science laboratories between July and October in schools that lack necessary infrastructure for practical science learning.
In terms of development, each and every country that has ever made it well in this world, in this globe, has had to emphasize and invest heavily in STEM. And one of the programs that we are putting in place is issues relating to rationalization. We have teachers, but we have some schools that have more STEM teachers than others, so we are working towards a program of rationalization to ensure that each school at least has a STEM teacher. From this month towards the month of October, we are building 1,600 laboratories to ensure that each school that did not have a laboratory, they do have, so that as our students get in there, they are able to do their subjects with the particular infrastructure in place.
Let's now take you to the counties. Kimende Primary School in Lari constituency, Kiambu County, is counting losses after fire razed down the school's administration block on Monday night. The school's board suspects arson, given that the school's kitchen was similarly destroyed last year, although the motive could not be established. This and other stories in our county news roundup.
The mysterious fire at Kimende Primary School in Lari constituency reduced to ashes the administration block with laptops, a projector and textbooks in it. Lari Deputy County Commissioner Samuel Kariuki, however, confirmed that learning will continue. The school administration is calling for thorough investigations to establish the cause of the fire.
Hii ni mara ya pili. Kwa mwanzoni tulikuwa tumechomewa jiko kitchen. Na sasa hii kitu imekuja kwa administration block na tunasikitika sana kama wazazi.
Kwa sasa tutajua kiini cha hii moto. Tunatarajia maofisa kutoka kitengo cha DCI wakunje wafanye uchunguzi wao ndio waweze kujua kiini cha hii moto ni nini.
In Nyandarua County, Salient Secondary School in Olkalau is set to be closed to pave way for the establishment of the first ever university in Nyandarua County. Students currently enrolled will be transferred to neighboring schools.
Tutaconsult kulingana na vile umesema kwamba kuna wale ambao wana masters na PhD. Tutajadiliana, consultation itaendelea ili kwamba next month 18th of August comrades watakuwa hapa Nyandarua University. Mtawapokea.
Elsewhere, boda riders in Transgenerational County have launched a movement for financial empowerment through investments and partnerships.
Hawa wana bodaboda wamekuwa na shida kupata pikipiki, deposit imekuwa ni zaidi ya 70,000. By the time wanamaliza kulipa pikipiki is close to 350-400,000. So tumekuja na hii initiative tuhakikishe kwamba watapata pikipiki kwa bei nzuri na deposit pia itakuwa chini.
In Busia County, security agencies have launched a vigorous operation in Funyula constituency aimed at curbing the spike in crime in the area.
We have given ourselves 1 month of rapid response, and we'll do this work by patrols, by also calling meetings with the culprits, arresting others, and also bonding others to just make sure that we have sanity in this area.
Elsewhere, residents of Gitugi Ward in Madhyoya constituency, Murang'a County, tired of government inaction, took matters into their own hands by constructing a makeshift bridge across River Madhyoya.
Pikipiki zote ukivuka pande ile, pikipiki zinakuja mpaka mtoni, lakini pande yetu hakuna mtu anatusaidia, hakuna barabara, hakuna nini. Kwa hivyo sisi tuko na shinda.
Mimi ningetaka kuwauliza wananchi watukufu, ikifika ni kuchaguana, tuchaguane bila kutumia chenye tunapewa ama tumbo. Tutumie, tuangalie ni kiongozi mgani atakuja kusaidia wananchi.
Finally, Homa Bay County Governor Gladys Wanga inspected ongoing drainage works at Soko Mjinga Market, where she underscored her administration's commitment to community-centered urban development.
The plan that is bottom-up, that they have led themselves, they have spoken to themselves, they have said, these are our problems, these are our needs, and this is how we want to resolve them.
We're here today is to be inspired by particularly women-led initiatives, youth-led initiatives, to identify their priorities. What needs to be done? Housing, drainage, water. And that becomes the people's adaptation plan.
Martine Maslin for Prime Edition.
And Lamin Camara with his first career goal.
Ni muda wa kuhesabu kwa ajili ya kusherekea fasili na asili ya soka barani Afrika, ligi za ndani na magwiji wasiotambulika.
Mangeni Alvin anaichanja ndani uzuri, David!
Michuano ya CAF ya mataifa ya Afrika 2024 ni njia ya kuzindua kupanua mtandao wa wachezaji ulimwenguni. Timu itakayoshinda itazawadiwa dola za Marekani milioni 3.5 pamoja na kujivunia kulinyanyua kombe hilo. Pata manufaa zaidi kutoka kwa CHAN 2024 mubashara na kipute cha kipekee kwenye runinga ya KBC Channel 1, mwenzio wa dhati michezoni.
Very good evening to you. Thank you for watching Prime Edition. This is the day's business. My name is Betty Kiptum. Now, you will pay 1,300 shillings from the current 430 shillings to access the Nairobi National Park, Animal Orphanage and Nairobi Safari Walk. If a proposal to hike entry fee to all Kenya Wildlife Service managed parks across Kenya is implemented as proposed. The Kenya Wildlife Service is seeking to increase charges to access national parks, reserves and sanctuaries across Kenya to raise funds for wildlife conservation, address emerging threats and secure long-term future of Kenya's biodiversity.
In the 2024-2025 financial year, the Kenya Wildlife Service generated 7.92 billion shillings against a requirement of 19.79 billion shillings. The 12 billion shillings annual funding gap threatens growth and sustainability of the Kenya Wildlife Service. Kenya Wildlife Service Director General Professor Erastus Kanga says more than 90% of our internal revenue comes from tourism-related activities. Yet, we face a widening fiscal deficit that undermines not only conservation, but also the livelihoods of over 1 million Kenyans whose jobs depend on a thriving wildlife economy, ranging from community scouts and rangers to our tour operators, hoteliers and artisans. KWS is proposing to increase entry fees in all parks for both domestic and foreign tourists as part of its revenue enhancement strategy to support core conservation activities, including restoration of habitats and ecosystem, mitigation of human-wildlife conflict, enhanced anti-poaching and wildlife security operation, modernization of park infrastructure and services, as well as expansion of conservation, education and awareness programs. KWS has also drafted a series of incentives to attract more visitors, including free entry for PWDs, senior citizens above 70 and children below the age of 5, as well as group rates and new immersive experiences. Under the proposal, KWS will effect a 5% increase in park entry fee and have a comprehensive review after every 6 years. Increased revenue is expected to fund construction of facilities with a bed capacity of 3,000 beds in KWS-managed parks for sustainable income. Regina Manyara reporting for Prime Edition.
And the Energy Ministry is blaming Parliament for the high prices of fuel in Kenya, saying taxes and levies have made the commodity more expensive. Energy Cabinet Secretary Opiyo Wandayi is now urging the National Assembly to reconsider some of the levies imposed on fuel in Kenya to help lower the cost of the commodity. Our reporter Abdiaziz Hashim files the following report from Parliament.
Kenyans have been on a roll in the last week after the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority increased fuel prices by 9 shillings, the highest spike in more than 3 years. Today, Energy Cabinet Secretary Opiyo Wandayi appeared before the Energy Committee of the National Assembly to shed more light on the new prices.
Even with the latest increase in the prices of these three products, after a long time, the prices have not yet hit where they were in July last year.
Wandayi has told the committee that the hike was caused by numerous taxes charged on the product and high freight costs due to security concerns around the Strait of Hormuz and the Suez Canal, which handles all oil products headed to Kenya.
That the differences in these prices, if you look at the prices of Kenyan products and those of the other countries, that is Uganda, Tanzania, and Rwanda, is largely as a result of the differences in our taxation regimes.
So on that, whether those taxes are helping in any other quarter, but in the eyes of the public, there is a problem.
There are about 9 taxes and levies charged on fuel in Kenya.
That the taxes in those other countries on fuel are lower than ours. And that is in their wisdom, and the wisdom of their respective parliaments.
Your reasoning might not convince Kenyans. How will you convince my people to buy fuel in Kenya if it's cheaper across the board? My people will go to Tanzania. The same to Mulanya. His people will cross to Uganda.
The MPs have raised concerns over the extension of the government-to-government arrangement importation of petroleum products, stating that they have not assessed the terms of the extension despite the increase in prices.
That these taxes and levies that are imposed on petroleum products have to be approved by Parliament.
If Kenyans are not satisfied with the G2G because it was to bring about relief of prices, if it does not happen, can we pull out of the G2G and concentrate maybe on a long-term solutions?
As a result of the G2G arrangements, okay, our landed prices are much lower than the prices of Tanzanian landed products.
Abdiaziz Oshim for Prime Edition.
And plans to start exploitation of crude oil are back on course, with Kenya likely to start crude oil exports next year. This is after Gulf Energy Limited has agreed to purchase Tullow Kenya interests in a $120 million deal, which is about 15.6 billion shillings. Tullow Acting Chief Executive Officer Richard Miller says they discovered 463 million barrels of crude oil resources in the South Lokichar Basin in Kenya are progressing towards development.
The finalization of the purchase agreement between Tullow Oil and Gulf Energy Limited now paves the way for the field development plan for the South Lokichar Basin that is currently pending approval. The parties in the deal project that Kenya could start crude oil production and exports next year. Kenya is projected to produce between 60,000 and 100,000 barrels per day, initially from the estimated 560 million barrels recoverable over a period of 25 years. So far, Tullow Oil says it had discovered an estimated 463 million barrels of 2C resources. Gulf Energy will control several oil and gas discoveries that have been made in the Lamu Basin, both onshore and offshore, as well as Baringo. Crude oil production and exports in Kenya has stalled for years after Tullow Oil failed to secure partners to invest in a major heated crude oil pipeline for ferrying the crude to the coast for shipment. Tullow Oil has since 2011 undertaken exploration and appraisal of the crude oil assets in Kenya as part of its long-term development objective. Alan Auko, Prime Edition.
The Kenyan business community is being urged to pursue emerging opportunities in Pakistan's expanding market as the two countries seek to deepen trade and investment ties. Trade Principal Secretary Regina Ombam says that local producers ought to tap other lucrative value chains, even as tea remains a key export.
Bilateral trade between Kenya and Pakistan has shown steady growth, rising from 97.84 billion shillings in 2023 to approximately 118 billion shillings in 2024. Trade Principal Secretary Regina Ombam says these figures still fall short of the full potential offered by the two economies.
We are really committed to diversifying our export base so that we include horticultural products, macadamia, cashew nuts, avocados, floriculture, textiles, and processed food items.
Culture is one of the greatest investments. We need to take culture as capital.
The exports Kenya has should come to Pakistan in diversified form, and Pakistan's export not only rise, but it should also be textile, pharmaceutical, surgical and sportswear.
Currently, tea accounts for over 80% of Kenya's exports to Pakistan, making it the dominant trade item. On the other hand, Pakistan continues to be a critical supplier of cereals, particularly rice and wheat, with cereal imports alone reaching 33 billion shillings in 2024. Kenya is now pushing for value addition and industrial manufacturing partnerships aimed at creating jobs and reducing export base.
We must move beyond the exchange of raw materials and semi-processed goods and embrace value-added agro-processing and industrial manufacturing partnerships that generate employment, enhance export capacity, and build economic resilience.
We are around $600 million at the trade level. There is a lot of potentials, and inshallah ta'ala, with your support, with the government support, there is a very, very possible to reach our bilateral trade at $1 billion.
Pakistan-based investors, in turn, are being encouraged to explore opportunities in Kenya's special economic zones and industrial parks, leveraging the country's strategic position. Trevor Ngendo for Prime Edition.
And that story by Trevor brings us to a close of the business news this evening. Bernardo Kumu is standing by with the latest in the world of sports. My name is Betty Kiptum. Do have yourself a lovely night. Bye-bye.
Mimi ni Salim Mvurya, waziri wa masuala ya vijana, uchumi bunifu na michezo. CHAN imewasili Kenya. Na waomba Wakenya wote tuweze kujitokeza kwa wingi, tuweze kushabikia timu yetu ya Harambee Stars. Tiketi tunaweza kulipa shilingi 200, 500 na 1000. Na CHAN iko KBC Channel 1 na KBC Radio Taifa. Tukutane Kasarani. Kenya ni nchi yetu, Harambee Stars ni timu yetu, na sisi ni wazalendo wa Kenya.
It's Women's Africa Cup of Nations, Morocco.
Feel the pulse of a continent, where Africa's fiercest women warriors clash for glory in the Women's Africa Cup of Nations 2024. Africa's top teams, one crown. Morocco hosts once more, ready to etch new legends into history. Rising stars, one stage to shine.
And it is the Copper Queen. They have been waiting for this moment. Here's a chance for a second. South Africa lead by 2-0 in this final, and he'll never higher.
This is more than football, it's African excellence. It's women's power. Don't miss WAFN 2024. Live from Morocco.
And thank you for staying with us. It is time for the latest from the sports world. I'm Bernard Okumu. Athletics Kenya has unveiled a 64-member squad to represent the country at the upcoming World Athletics Championships, slated from the 13th through to the 21st of September in Tokyo, Japan. The team selection followed the conclusion of the one-day national trials held at the Ulinzi Sports Complex here in Nairobi. Frederick Moki has the details.
And this is what you want to... Kenya will field a strong squad at this year's World Athletics Championships set for September in Tokyo, Japan, following the official team announcement by Athletics Kenya. Leading the charge in the women's 10,000 meters is a formidable trio: Janet Jepngetich, Agnes Ngetich, and double Olympic champion Beatrice Chebet, who have set their sights on a historic podium sweep. Get to the finish. They're done. The winning time 30:27.04.
Tunaenda as a teamwork
na tunaenda tena tunaenda as a teamwork, tunaenda kukimbia as a teamwork, na tukiingia top 3 wote hakuna shida.
We were running as a teamwork to see how we are going to focus on Tokyo World Championship and how we are going to work together as a team and go and bring medals home.
In the 1500 meters, 3-time Olympic champion Faith Kipyegon headlines the lineup alongside Nelly Jepchirchir, Susan Ejori and Dorcas Ewoye. Also named in the squad is Edmond Serem in the men's 3,000 meter steeplechase, who will team up with Simon Kiprop and Abraham Kibiwot.
Nimekimbia vizuri, I was well prepared, so nilikuwa nakuja hapa kaa niko prepared.
The athletes are set to report to a residential training camp in Eldoret for intensive preparations ahead of the global event. The Kenyan team to this year's edition of the World Athletics Championship will be seeking to clinch more medals after amassing a total of 10 medals during the previous edition that was held in Budapest, Hungary in 2023. Reporting for Prime Edition from Ulinzi Sports Complex in Nairobi, my name is Frederick Moki.
And thank you, Moki, for that report. Probably the best moment of today's event was when the 10-year-old girl did do the 2-lap race on the track at Ulinzi Sports Complex before being stopped just at the end of the day's event. That was the women's 400 meters final. Still on athletics, where the national under-18 and under-20 athletics team received a hero's welcome this morning upon their arrival at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport following a dominant performance at the Africa Athletics Championships in Abeokuta, Nigeria. Athletics Kenya officials on hand to receive the triumphant team, which made the country proud with an impressive medal all across various track events. Among the gold medalists was the Simon Araka, who clinched the under-18 boys 400 meters title, and Natasha Chepto secured gold in the under-20 women's 3,000 meters steeplechase, while Emmanuel Kiprono won the under-18 boys 3,000 meters steeplechase race. Other notable gold medal winners included Clinton Aluvi in the men's 100 meters, Cynthia Chepkurui in the under-18 girls 3,000 meters race, Lawing Etich in the under-18 boys 1,500 meters race, and Emmanuel Lemiso in the under-18 boys 2,000 meters steeplechase, among others. In total, the young athletes brought home 34 medals, 13 gold, 12 silver, and 9 bronze in a remarkable achievement that solidifies Kenya's standing as a powerhouse in athletics on the continent.
He's holding on to the Kenyans and he's not going to allow them to. We have one Kenyan, the South African.
Yeah, he's still coming forward. Emil Hurst, can he do it? Can he overtake the Kenyan in front? He's overtaken the run.
And across the borders, where reigning European champions England will face Italy tonight in a Euro 2025 semi-final clash at Stade de Genève in Switzerland. After a dramatic comeback victory over Sweden, England now sets its sights on a 6th consecutive major tournament semi-final. The Lionesses enter the match as favourites, having won their last 5 encounters against Italy. Italy, meanwhile, are enjoying a historic run, reaching their first women's major tournament semi-final in 28 years. They secured their spot with a thrilling 2-1 win over Norway in the quarters. In the second semi-final, Germany will take on Spain. That's tomorrow. Germany remains unbeaten in their last 8 meetings with Spain, including a 1-0 win in the bronze medal match at the 2024 Olympics. Spain, however, come into the match in formidable form with World Cup and Nations League titles already under their belt in the past 2 years. La Roja are now closing in on the Women's European Championship to complete their trophy collection.
Turn provider here. Bronze with a free header. And it's it! Strikes goal for England! Walsh finding Kirby. Rousseau! Saved by Linda Rousseau!
And thank you so much for watching. Remember to catch the second semi-final of the ongoing Women's Africa Cup of Nations between Ghana and the hosts Morocco. Remember, the winner will meet Nigeria in the final on Saturday. That's it from me. I'm Bernardo Kumu. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.
Thank you, Bernardo Kochokumu, for the sports bit. Earlier on, we had Betty Kiptum with the business bit. And on that note, we come to an end of Prime Edition. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for your company on our social media platforms. I am Muchuma Odim. My colleague Tomboya will be with us next week, God willing. Our sign language expert tonight is Lensa Odingo. Good night. God bless you.